What is going on, guys? This is Jason coming back at you with another video. And I know it's been a while, you guys. I haven't uploaded in like 3 months or so, give or take. But it's all good now. I'm gonna get you right in this video with another project of mine. So in this video, I brought together this. This Dell Optiplex 3010 small form factor PC. So why do I have this heavy piece of shit right here? It is heavy though. So what I'm going to do with this PC, I'm going to make it a pretty well-rounded media center PC of mine. Make it play, you know, a couple TV shows, a couple movies, give or take, and give it a brand new lease on life. So without further ado, let me put you back down. Heavy as hell. It is so heavy. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so we got the Dell Optiplex on the bed. I probably don't know if I should, but I don't have much space. It was either that or the floor. So the bed it is. What I like about these PCs is like, because it's for like, you know, businesses and all that sort of shit, if you want to go in under the hood, they made it like as simple as possible, so it's probably hard to fuck up. So like this latch right here, I noticed this, you could just pull it up, bam, bam, done. See how easy that is? You don't have to, you know, unscrew nothing. So we got the interior right here. It's a bit dusty, but we can work with that. I work with that anyway. And this is where the hard drive is going to go. I need to install a Wi-Fi card, PCIe card as well. I don't have a graphics card. Maybe that I could put that in sometime in the future, but that's the only thing I'm going to do. I'm going to install the hard drive, and I'm going to install the Wi-Fi. It didn't come with Wi-Fi. It did come with RAM though, which is good because right now the RAM prices are pretty sky high right now. So thank God it came with 16 gigs of RAM. You know, not the best, but hey, better than nothing. So what I have for the hard drive, seeing as this is a media like focused type PC, I bought a 4 terabyte new open box WD. Had to bargain a little bit. I probably put all the prices, you know, in at near the end of the video, but yeah, had to haggle a bit because, you know, it's cheaper to get it as a hard disk drive. I know it's a hard disk drive, but it's cheaper to do it this way than do it with SSD, because imagine 4 terabytes in SSD form. That's like hundreds of dollars. I ain't got it like that, but I got this like that. So 4 terabytes, I would like more, but I ain't got it like that for more. So that is gonna go in this hard drive sled thingamabob. Let me just kind of maneuver this real quick, and I'm gonna put that in right now. From what I understand, you pick up this blue plastic hard drive sled. Kind of see, it barely just popped out. Then you take the hard drive. I think in the video it kind of showed it. Put it like this. I have to kind of bend it in kind of so it can kind of fit. Let me see if I can get. Oop, I don't even trying to break nothing. It's not even centered yet. Hold on. Get in. I got it. Hold on. Oh, I think I know. Okay, get this part in. And then. Nope, that ain't it. What the fuck? Hold on. Nah, it should be like this, bro. Hold on. Nah, I got it, bro. No, it's like, put it like this and then just fit it in the hole. It's not hard. Nah, I got it, bro. I got it, bro. Hell no, I have it. It's almost done. It's almost done. I got it, real shit. I got it. Boom. Is it centered now? Hold on. It's almost centered. I got it. I have this part. I just need this part. Nah, I got it, bro. Nah, hold on. Fuck, hold on. Did I break it? Oh no, thank God. Okay. Nah, come on. Nah, bro, I got it. I got it. This is the. Okay, so got one. Okay. Nice. I could just tell. I could just literally tell. It's close. It's close. You probably can't. Like, bro. What? Nah, I got it. I'm almost there, bro. Let me see. Yeah, it's not centered. It has to be centered. Hold on. Almost got it. I almost got it. What the fuck? Hold on. No, hold on. Give me a moment. All right, now I finally got it. See, it's centered now. Grand. I was so afraid about breaking this plastic part because I'm not trying to, find another part. Trying to break it, But I got it. So do not mind me. I'm just maneuvering in front of the camera. I got it. Okay, so here you put it like this. So let me just pop it in. Hold on. Okay, now with this in, hold on, let me try again. Now after I stopped being nervous in front of the camera, I figured out how to put back the hard drive sled. Just kind of pop it in like this, just move it in, bam, easy. Easy as hell. So next, I need to plug in the SATA, the power cables. So we got this one, and we got these. So this end and this end, they both got to plug into the hard drive. So let me plug those in. Boop. Let me see. Make sure I'm not plugging them in wrong. Boom. All right. Then this end right here. Let me see. What would make this a whole lot easier for me is if I can just pull up the hard drive sled like this, so I can actually see how the pins are supposed to go. So let me just now plug in this. I think this is the power. One of them is the power. So this one right here, and then this one like that. Boom. And make sure that's formed in. Make sure that's plugged in correctly. Bam. So now I can just, I did it before. Nope, I did it before. I know I did it before. Come on, I did it before. Come on. Why is this happening to me right now? I did this before. I did it fine. Okay, I got it. Alright, finally it's done. It's in. Perfect. Shit. Alright, next up, we got this weirdo AliExpress Wi-Fi PCIe card. And the reason I got this one in particular is because I wanted to run Linux on here. From what I researched, Linux is kind of, picky about what PCIe cards, what Wi-Fi cards is able to accept. Not by choice, but it is. If it was Windows, I probably could just buy any random one from Amazon, but again, I have to work with what we got. So I heard you need to get something that runs Intel, Intel AX200. So I got this one because it has Wi-Fi and it has Bluetooth, both of which I need. So I need to install that into the computer. So let's do that right now. Shit. Alright. Here we go. Put you down here. We got these things. I think this is for the antennas. They put you down here, and these are the antennas right here. And I got some QR codes for like the drivers and all that. I don't know if I trust those. Hopefully, Linux got some basic drivers I can work with. So there we go. So let me just get that together. Wrong one, but Alright, with everything plugged up, set up, and ready, we're now ready to turn on the Dell Optiplex and see if it actually boots up. So let's see if it'll work now. Okay, I see the portable monitor do its thing. Okay, let's see what's going on. Alright, F12. Okay, so this is a good sign, so that means that the drive is working. I had to make sure that was working beforehand, but we know that it's working right now. So now our next step is to go to our boot USB flash drive. So we're just going to press enter for that, so we get to installing the operating system. So here we have Ventoy, which I probably explained in the previous video, but it's basically kind of like Rufus. But the only thing is, unlike Rufus, you could just put, multiple like ISOs on here, and then you could just, pick which one you want to, flash onto your computer. Pop! OS jump scare. We're not installing Pop! OS today, but I want to see if CachyOS will actually install on the hard disk drive, because in my previous video, if you haven't seen that, please go see that, but in my previous video I tried to install it on an SSD. I tried to install CachyOS on an SSD, but it still wouldn't go through, it still wouldn't work. But we're gonna see if it'll install in a hard disk drive today, so let's try that right now. So let's select CachyOS, boot normal, yep. Okay, so let's select CachyOS. Yeah, right, let's select the regular one. Okay, we got some good old-fashioned CachyOS text. It's doing its thing, it's loading right now. Let's see if it actually goes through. I'll be pleasantly surprised if it actually goes through on the hard drive, but on the SSD, on the previous video, I'd be, Linux issues, bro. Linux issues. But yeah, I'm gonna get back if anything changes. Okay, see, one of the issues that I had last time was that this start job shit was running for like pretty much indefinitely on the SSD in the previous video, and it just literally just wouldn't go past this section right here. So hopefully it'll go through. It say failed, I don't know what the hell that means, but he's still going through. That's a good sign. I see a mouse cursor. I see a mouse cursor, bro. What the hell? Are you serious? Are you kidding me right now? You're serious? Are we really? Wow, dude, that looks cool, dude. That looks cool, dude. What the? Hello? Oh, thank God. We got it. We're back. We're good. With that out the way, I'm gonna bring out this Logitech wireless keyboard with the mouse included that I bought for like $20 for so online. So we don't have to use the wired keyboard anymore. We could just work with this, and it actually detected, the computer actually detected the USB receiver. So that's a good sign. That's really good. So we're gonna just work with this right now and go back to the setup. So they just make sure it actually works. Boom. Yep, it's working. I'm moving it, and keyboard mouse works. Fantastic. So let's proceed with the setup. We're going to launch the installer right now. Oh, I need to check if there's internet. Let me check if there's internet. Hold on. Okay, I see some networks. So it's really good. So I need to sign into my connection. So give me a second. I'm gonna have to blur all that out though, but give me a second while I sign into Wi-Fi. All right, now we're signed into Wi-Fi. That's so cool. Okay, so the PCIe card actually works. It actually works. That's good. That's really good. So the Wi-Fi works. So now we can launch the online installer. So let me do that. Online installation launch. All right, choose bootloader edition. Shit, I don't even know. It's like they say the system MD boot is the default, but I don't know, bro. Like, if you think about it from like a new user perspective, you're gonna be like, what the fuck is all this? What the fuck is grub? What the fuck is system MD boot? What is all that? Like, a newbie won't know what none of that shit means, and honestly I don't really know what all this means either. So it's a default, but I'm just gonna leave it as is. They picked that one. I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm just gonna leave it alone and just let that pick that. Honestly, I don't know. I know they probably have it on their website, but it's like, probably shouldn't need the website. It should be just simple, easy to understand, plain English, so you don't have to question it, you know what I'm saying? All right, so let's get to going. So we got American English, yep. Region, yep. keyboard layout, yep, and it detects the WD drive, almost 4 terabytes. So now what we're gonna do, we're going to erase disk. We don't really have anything because the current is like these. Now it's gonna be like that, all orange. We're just gonna keep it like that. Hope this works. Okay, so here you can pick your desktop. Let me see what we got going on here. There's a lot of selections. I'm used to GNOME, honestly, because it looks more fleshed out. It looks not really fleshed out. It looks more like a finished product than, I don't know which one it is right now, but like I said, it's like in terms of aesthetics, this one right here is kind of inconsistent. It kind of looks kind of unfinished in terms of aesthetics, personally, in my opinion. That's why I go for GNOME. So I'm just gonna work with GNOME because it looks better to me. In my opinion, it looks better to me. It looks more like a finished product. Even though they're free, it looks more like a finished product than, you know, this desktop. I don't remember which one it's called, but you could probably get what I'm talking about. So we're gonna install GNOME. Additional packages. Oh, it's KDE Plasma. That's what it is. Yeah, I think GNOME looks better than KDE, honestly. My honest opinion. I mean, KDE can improve their looks. There's always room for improvement for them, but you know, we're gonna go with GNOME right now. So I'm just gonna leave everything as it is. Gonna leave it alone. We're just gonna keep chugging. Just click. Did I click next already? And then they just set up my thing. Let me do that for a second. All right, set up my user account, and now with everything all set up and laid out, we're going to finally hit install. So let's get to it. About to make changes. Yup, install now. Let's see if it actually, you know, proceeds. Because this is a big improvement from on the Mac Mini. This was a big improvement for the Mac Mini because we didn't even get to that, and it was supposed to be installed in an SSD. Like, Linux is annoying, bro. Linux is so annoying, bro. But we're gonna get there. Hopefully, I would actually try out CachyOS. So I'll get back to you if it completes. And alright, it says it's been installed on the computer. You may now restart into the new system or continue using a live environment. We're gonna restart now. It actually worked on the hard drive. Oh my god. No issues, thank god. Okay, thank god. So I just press done. Let me press done. No issues, dude. Thank you. Oh my god. No nonsense. Okay. That is good, but anybody trying to tell me, like, oh no, but what happened? What happened? What am I doing over here? What the hell happened? What is this? Why am I here, bro? Hold on, bro. Alright, we're almost into CachyOS. So basically, the issue that I had was I was booting into Legacy instead of UEFI. So I was in the BIOS, so trying to figure things out, and the password, there was a password on the system, so I had to, you know, look up how to remove the password, and luckily it was like an easy fix. There was a YouTube video, I might link that down below, but once I was done with that, I pretty much wiped the password from the device, and I was able to change it from Legacy to UEFI, and now we're in CachyOS. There we go. So now I can just be like, boom. Alright, enter the password, and we're in, bro. We're in. If you want to learn about let's take the tour. Why not? Let's begin. Learn about the key features in CachyOS Linux. This overview shows all your apps in Windows. Press the super key, the Windows key, to open it. Cool. I'm already aware of that. Powerful search. To search, start typing in the overview. You can open apps and all that sort of thing. Next, workspaces. Yep, I'm aware of that with GNOME. Swipe up and down. To quickly open the overview with the touchpad, swipe up with 3 fingers. I don't know about all that, but to move between workspaces, swipe 3 fingers horizontally. Okay, and that's it. There we go. That was the tour, and welcome to CachyOS. Bing bang bong. Yep. Let me just exit that right here, and let's updates. All right, let me get those updates together, and then we can go see what CachyOS has to offer. So when I'm done with that, I'll get right to the overview. All right, with updates out of the way, let's get into CashOS to see what it looks like, honestly. Let's see what it looks like. We got date and time over here on this section right here. We got the, Bluetooth, your Wi-Fi, this and the third. And then here, your workspaces. So yeah, basically the same thing. Yes, GNOME's GNOME, because they all kind of work like that. Because I also have Bazzite on this ThinkPad T470, and it kind of works the same way too. So I just press the Windows key, and it works pretty well. So I just want to see what we can do with CashOS. Let me see. So press Windows key. Okay, so let's look at the apps. What apps we got? We got a lot of things. Well, we got your weather, your contacts, your maps, and a video player. Let me turn that down real quick so you can see that better. Got music, all of these. Let me see, Cache Hello, Cache Packages, console. Let's see on the other side what we got over here. We got Firefox, we got extensions. So yeah, basic, that's, GNOME. So let's look at what we got going on here. So we got calendar, files, software, text editor, and the calculator. So let's open up the software. So this kind of looks like Bazaar on Bazzite, because let me open up Bazaar real quick. Let's open up Bazaar. I mean, it kind of looks similar. Like, you got your app store and all these sort of things, and that's Bazaar right here on Bazzite. It's pretty similar, I like how they both look. I like how it looks. It's simple, it's clean, it's modern. I like it. I like how it looks. So let me see, is there a search? Yeah, it is over here. So let's search Brave browser. So let me install Brave. Let's open up Brave. Oops, I clicked it twice. Shit, I got him. Yep, maybe later. What the hell? Ah, man, where's the minimize buttons and maximize? So that means I gotta go into the setting. CashOS. But this could be a good opportunity to select the settings. Let me see what the settings look like. Let's go to settings. It's probably the same. They got the keyboard and all that. It's gonna be the same. Maybe it's in appearance. No, but there are some wallpapers I can select from. So that's cool. Where is it? Alright, so I'm stumped and I'm trying to Google how to get those buttons, those minimize and maximize buttons back on the browser, like your Windows or whatever. And I was Googling and I see this Reddit thread or whatever. This person's talking about the minimize button should be enabled by default, and I agree. And look at these dumbass comments talking about, why would you want to minimize? Because I want to. Isn't that the point of Linux? Because of choice. I want the minimize and maximize buttons on my Windows by choice. That's what I want. That's what most people want. Why would they want the buttons off by default? That's stupid. I do not agree with these people talking about why would you need to. Because maybe they want to and I want to. This is why Linux has such a bad rep, because why would you want to do that? Dumbass responses like that. Well, it is what it is. I'm just gonna have to just move on, bro, because I know I could drag it and just make it full, but sometimes I just want a minimize button. Because look, I'm on Bazzite. You see them right here. I'm on Bazzite. They're right here. What's the issue? What is genuinely the issue? What is so hard about that? People want those buttons. That's what they want. People don't got time to argue with you, bro. They want the buttons, and they should be able to enable them. I don't get it. But meantime, I digress. Let's go to the system and see about this system for CashOS. So if we look right here, it is a Dell Optiplex 1030 with the Intel Core i3 processor and 16 gigs of RAM. Good thing that they actually work, because I'm not trying to buy more RAM right now. Not with these prices. And 4 terabyte disk capacity. I wonder why it's not. It's showing on here, but on my ThinkPad, let me pop it up for a second. I go to about system, about this system, and it says disk capacity unknown. It's a 256 SSD in here. I know that, but I have to download some random disk utility apps so I could actually see the capacity, because it says unknown right here on Bazzite. Maybe because it's the ThinkPad. I don't know whatever the case may be here, but on here it say 4 terabytes, and I think it said the capacity when I did install Bazzite on the Mac Mini. It just said it. It said it then. If you haven't watched that video, please go watch that. But it said the disk capacity, but it won't show it here. It's odd, honestly. It's really odd, honestly. Alright, so with that being said, see, you didn't see it, but I clicked and dragged it. I made it full screen, but you should have maximize and minimize buttons. I'm rambling. I don't want to go back into this topic, but we're on YouTube now, so I'm gonna, search up my channel. Boom, there we go. My channel pops up. So even for a hard drive, it's still pretty fast, bro. It's still pretty fast. So you just play that real quick and it's loading up just fine. It's just as fast. Even with the hard disk drive, it is pretty fast. And video is playing pretty well. What am I at? Let me check my my settings. It's at auto 720p 60 frames. So yeah, it's doing pretty well. Automatically too at that. I didn't even have to do anything. So we all know web browsing is going to be fine. That's pretty much what that's so we know that web browsing is no problem at all. Now, one thing I wanted to know is if the disk drive actually works, because one of the reasons I bought this Optiplex was because it had a disk drive, because I saw some listings where they took the disk drive out, and I know I could probably do that here, but I want to keep the disk drive, so I want to see if it actually works. Let's turn it on. Let's see if it works. Boom. Yes sir, yes sir. And to test to make sure it actually works, we're gonna boot in this CD, which is a disc that has like an hour or so of early 2000s cartoons with the commercials in it, because I want another hobby. I just another hyperfixation of mine. I want to have more content like that, but it was costly and I ain't got it like that, and I think most of the listings on eBay are probably gone by now anyways, so I just have to settle for what's on YouTube. So let me see, make sure that the disc is settled on the thing. There we go. You can tell it's been a while since I've used a disk drive. Let's boot it in. Okay, wonder if it showed anything on here. Let me see if it actually showed up on here. I go to my files and I see it. There it is. It's right here. And I see it. Let me see. I guess go to videos. Okay. And it works. Yeah, it works. Oh my god. It actually works. Yes, their disk drive is working. See, that is the highlight of this. If anything, that the disk drive works just fine. I could just use it once in a blue moon, but it works. Yeah, no issues at all, bro. Oh, one more quick thing. I want to see how this, PC off button works on this, Logitech keyboard. Let me try pressing it right now. Let's press it. I don't know if it turns it off or puts it to sleep. So, let me give it like a few seconds or so, and then okay, see. Yeah, so turn off HDMI. Yeah. You can't see that, but it probably just put it to sleep. So let me try pressing it again. Okay, yeah, it just put it to sleep. Okay, that's what that was. Okay, so now let's try this lock button. Let's try that one and see what happens. Kind of self-explanatory. It just kind of, locks the computer. So if I press the power button. Yep. See, look. Okay, cool. That's what it works. I just, wanted to check if it actually works. And it does. So, that's pretty much what CashOS basically is. And at a certain point, you could probably say it for, most popular Linux distros. At a certain point, they're just kind of gonna look all similar, kind of like this. Or depending on what your desktop, flavor is. Again, I usually go for GNOME because it looks better to me. So, it's pretty good, honestly. I'm so glad it installed on the hard disk drive. So whatever that argument is, you need the SSD. I mean, yes, for a boot drive, yes, but I don't have one here, and I had my whole philosophy. Operating system should be able to install an SSD, a hard disk drive, whatever have you, without any issues, because Windows can do it, Mac OS can do it, and the same should apply for Linux. So. At the end of the day, I'm gonna lean towards Bazi, honestly, because after using it for like a month or so, using it on the ThinkPad, I kind of like it a bit more because it comes with Steam, comes with Lutris, because I was playing a few games on there, and it was doing pretty well on there. I kind of prefer that, honestly. It looks a bit better, you know, even though it's the same GNOME. You know, I kind of prefer, you know, Bazzite, and Bazzite installed on the Mac Mini. But regardless, I think Bazzite is slightly better to me, in my honest opinion. Alright, so now that I've seen pretty much what CashOS has to offer, I'm going to now install Bazzite on the Dell Optiplex right here, and when I'm done installing that, then I can start the setup to where this Dell Optiplex could be the media center PC that I want it to be. So I'll get back to you when I install Bazzite on the Dell Optiplex. I'll get back to you when that's done. Alright, it's been a couple days now, and there have been a lot of developments. And because of this, I had to get my phone out and jot a couple of notes down so I won't get confused. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So basically, after I updated Bazzite on this device, I was trying to log in and I noticed my mouse input wasn't working. So I'm like, damn, that's weird. I just updated the thing and now my mouse don't work. So I'm like, cool, let me just go into the BIOS, let me see if I can figure something out. And while I was in the BIOS, I noticed two boot options. It was a boot option for CashOS and another one that said Fedora. Fedora, that is what Bazzite is based off of. So basically I was like, I'm done with CashOS, let me just delete the boot option for CashOS. And what I accidentally did was delete the boot option for Bazzite. I deleted the Fedora boot option, so I'm like, fuck. So that means I gotta reinstall Bazzite. Alright, I'm like, okay, cool. Let me reinstall Bazzite and let me just get this over with. And you think it was gonna be easy? Nope. When I tried to reinstall Bazzite, error, basically something to do with payload error, this, that, or whatever. I'm like, fuck. Oh great, more headaches. So I'm like, let me try to reinstall CashOS so I can reinstall Bazzite. And errors for that as well. It would not work either. And here's the plot twist. I tried to install Pop! OS to try to, you know, get everything sorted. So my thought process was like, let me install Pop! OS, and then when Pop! OS was installed, let me re-flash that hard drive for Bazzite. And when I tried to install Pop! OS, obviously it failed, and guess what? The hard drive stopped being detected. My 4 terabyte hard drive that it was brand new well, it wasn't really brand new, it was open box, but it was basically brand new, and I got it for a deal too. I bricked it, I'm like, fuck. I'm so, you know, honestly, I was just so glad I didn't buy that drive brand new, because brand new is like $80 to $90, bro. Imagine if I brick a $90 hard drive because of just fucking up, just like, wow. I'm like, damn, I'm like, fuck, I just fucked up, son. I already broke something. So I was like, in the meantime, while I was trying to get another 4 terabyte drive, I have to get a boot drive, basically. I need to get this, you know, project rolling. So basically, let me just show you right here. I'll show you myself. Boom. So basically, what I bought here is this SK Hynix SSD, 256 gigs from an OfferUp seller. Got it for $15, and I got the SATA cable. When I bought this drive, the seller included a SATA cable because I needed one, because the system only came with one SATA cable, so I had to get one anyways. And so the seller hooked up the cable for another $2. So the drive was $15 and the cable was $2, so it's $17. So okay, cool. I installed Bazzite on here, worked flawlessly. I still had that issue where my mouse input wasn't working, and I'm gonna get into that momentarily. But at the end of the day, I got the boot drive going, and Bazzite works fine on that. And then my other 4 terabyte drive that I bought on eBay arrived, and I set it up in here. I had to make sure that this drive was actually functional. It was a used drive. The deal was, you know, not as good as my previous drive, but at least is better than buying it brand new. So basically I had to wipe the drive. By the way, wiping this drive right here basically took a whole day to wipe this whole drive completely. So if you're gonna wipe a drive of this capacity or even larger, you're gonna be waiting a while. Hope you don't get a power outage. Thank God that didn't happen. So I wiped it, tested it, it said it was okay. So I got that going for me. So at least the drive works. So basically, I pretty much learned a couple lessons here. That yeah, I still have my stance. I'm still standing on my stance that an operating system should be able to install on an SSD or hard disk drive. But I now learned that it's better to get an SSD as well as a hard disk drive. So you got the SSD for the boot drive and the hard disk drive for the storage, your data. Because at the end of the day, at least with the SSD, it's a cheap fix. I could just buy another one for like $15, $20, $25, give or take. But if I gotta swap this, the bigger hard drive, then it's gonna be a costly fix. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take my L. I learned some lessons. I'm good. So at least I know that both drives work and I can actually move on with the project. So now with that, showcase out of the way, I don't know how I'm gonna, I'll probably just leave the SSD like this, maybe put some electrical tape, I don't know. But let me just put this case back on. Boom. Put this case back on. Whoopsies. Put this case back on. Boom. And then with that out of the way, we can actually get into Bazite and then get this media center PC on a roller. So let's get into it. Alright, so we have the computer powered on and into Bazite. So remember when I told you about, after I updated the system, the mouse wasn't responding? Well, let me tell you why. So let me pull up the terminal real quick and type in the command lsusb. Bam. And you probably can't see, I'll probably have to zoom that in, but as you can see, all of my USB ports are detecting. The reason why I'm bringing this up, because after I updated Bazite, after I installed Bazite and it did the system update, my USB ports weren't being detected. And what's really alarming is like one of the USB ports that I needed was the front USB ports where the Logitech, dongle has to plug into the front. So I'm like, damn, like what is this? And it's like with an issue like that where it's like certain USB ports are not being detected or whatever, I don't know how to fix that shit. How would I know how to fix that? I'm not thinking my USB ports would randomly stop working. It's not a hardware related issue, because as you can see right now, they're working right now. I didn't break anything else. So I'm like, what's going on? So basically, I don't know what fixed it. Sometimes when I turn on the computer, there would be this like black and white screen and it would say like OSTree 0 or OSTree 1. I'll probably have to look up a picture or whatever to indicate what that means, because I don't know what it means. When I was doing OSTree 0, this issue would occur, but when I switched it to OSTree 1, suddenly the thing is fixed. Suddenly that issue is not occurring anymore. I don't know if that did it or me updating this Dell Optiplex's BIOS from its 2012 BIOS to like its recent 2018 BIOS, which I don't know what else it did besides add few other things to the BIOS settings and squish the Dell logo, but I don't know what fixed it. But it's like one of these things. It's like when you install an operating system, you don't think stuff like this would break. Like, you just think you're just gonna install it and it's gonna work. So it's like, believe it or not, it's like you ain't gotta believe me, because I didn't show it where the USB ports weren't working, but it's like at the end of the day it did happen. It's a trouble. It's like an issue that I didn't know how to fix, that I suddenly have to take time to figure out a fix, and thankfully it did. But it's like I shouldn't have to deal with that shit though. This is headaches. This is just like more headaches, and it's like, again, I'm doing all this because I have a genuine interest for it. But it's like, you tell a normie, if a normie wants to install, Bazite or whatever Linux distro, and they got to deal with shit like this, or reinstalling their operating system and they get errors, and it's like, bro, what the fuck? Like, what is going on, bro? Like, the other mainstream options work fine. And it's like, and I'm showing this like, I want it to be better, but like, these things shouldn't be happening. You know what I'm saying? These issues shouldn't occur. And, you know, maybe it's just the standalone issue because it's a Dell Optiplex or whatever. At the end of the day, it's an issue. It's an issue that I'm not an expert in, and I had to figure out a fix. But at the end of the day, at least my USB ports all work now. So that's good at least. So at least I got that going for me. So with that out the way, we can actually set up the media server. You have no idea, bro, like how I want to just get it over with at this point, but it's like, cause that's the main event. That's what I want to get into. So I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's just get right to the meat and potatoes of this. Alright, so the first steps of setting up this whole media center PC thing is installing the software for it. And what's cool about Bazzlight, like I said, previously, it has its own app store called Bazaar. So let me open it right now and have that load up, do its thing. So after that, what we're going to do is go into the search bar and search up a software known as Jellyfin. So based off of my research on Jellyfin, you need both the server application as well as the media client. It's kind of confusing in a way, but in a way you need both of these applications. So the main thing we need right now to set everything up first is the Jellyfin server. So what I need to do is install that right now. So let me just press install, and I'm gonna wait for that to install, do its thing. Alright, we have the server installed, so now we just press open, and now it says server is starting, monitoring health check URL. So let me see, where is it? I press the Windows key. No, that ain't it. Startup completed after 14 seconds. Another instance is array starting. Okay, how do I open it? Okay, yeah. All right. Okay, that's what it was. I had to open it so it can do the setup process. So let me close out this tab right here and close out this one right here. And then we can get through the setup wizard. So let me look through it real quick. So welcome to Jellyfin, To begin, please enter a server name and select your preferred language. Let me do that real quick. So now the next step we gotta do is set up the username and password. So I gotta do that right now. And then our next step is to set up the media library. So I'm gonna do like a test, media library to ensure that it works. So let me do that real quick. Alright, so here we're going to set up the media library. So right now I'm gonna test something out with like a TV show. What you want to do is under content type, you put shows, and you can just put display name, whichever you want, shows or TV shows, whichever, and then you click the plus button next to folders, and then you get the folder where your TV shows are. So next, I have everything else set up right here. Preferred download language English, country United States, and all that. Scroll down, enable real-time monitoring. I'm gonna keep all these things enabled, and let's just keep it moving. And what I did enable is save artwork into media folders, so I can edit that whenever I choose. We got some things I don't understand, like trick play and all that. I don't know if it's going to be too intensive on this system because, mind you, it's a Dell Optiplex. There's no GPU, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just leave the other things just blank, and we're just gonna keep it moving. Maybe you guys can help me out in the comments below, but otherwise I'm just gonna keep it moving right now. And we have the folder set up, so let me just press next. Prefer metadata, yep, English United States. Next. Alright, so next it says set up remote access, allow remote connections to the server. Now, according to the Jellyfin website, the documentation, it says to keep that enabled. It's recommended to keep that enabled, so I'm gonna leave that alone. If you say so. And then you're done. That's all we need. And yep, click finish to view the dashboard. So let me click finish right now. So now I can sign into my Jellyfin server. So let me do that right now. Alright, so now I'm logged into my server. So now the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drag in a TV show, and I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna see how Jellyfin, extracts the metadata, how it does all the things that Jellyfin is supposed to do. So as soon as I drag on the TV show onto the hard drive, I'm gonna get back to you. Alright, so I added the TV show to my hard drive, so the next step I need to do is under administration, you click on dashboard, and then after that you go straight to libraries, and then what we can do right here is scan all libraries, or we can probably just scan the library if you're doing just that TV show folder. So let me just scan library here. Scan for new and updated files. What are the other options? Search for missing metadata, replace all metadata. I'm just gonna leave it as is because I added the TV show, so it's gonna scan for all the things for the TV show. So let's press refresh, or maybe let me try scan all libraries. Was that what worked? What? Alright, bruh. Because I thought it was gonna be like from here and it says scan library, but it said it's queued. So I guess you have to click scan all libraries? I don't know. So I'll show you when it's done scanning. So now after scanning, we have our show right here, Living Single. So if we just press on the title, it has the logo, has the synopsis of the show, and the way you gotta go about it, it's on the Jellyfin website. But basically, for example, with TV shows, you gotta put like the name. You could put the year or whatever. I just put just the name, Living Single, because when I put it on my hard drive, it had the name, but it had some other extra, things that maybe wasn't helping, Jellyfin detect all the metadata. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, let me just name it just the TV show name and just keep it like that, and it works fine. But again, you gotta double check with the Jellyfin website because it has explicit instructions, but we got all the info right here. We got all the seasons, the cast and crew, all of that. So if I really wanted to, for example, let me see how it actually plays on the server itself. Let me just press play. I'm gonna mute that in case that's copyrighted, but it is playing just fine. We got the subtitles. It's all good. I think the subtitles were already there when I had were already there on the file itself, but the subtitles work, the video is playing, and it's working just fine. You could just play your videos, no problem. Heck, it even has a time of when the episode ends. As you can see, I'm recording at 5:40 in the morning, and then if I play the episode, it's gonna end at 6:02 a.m. So that is another cool feature though. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is install the Jellyfin Media Player app. So let me install that right now. Alright, with that being installed, let's open it. The next thing we're going to do now is connect to the server. Next, we're going to sign in to our account, and now we're signed in. So basically, the Jellyfin server is to add the media, and then the media player app is to play the media. I think that's kind of what I understand, right? Because on the server you can play the media on there too, so it's like I guess if I need to download the media player like on my phone or on, like, for example, my Nvidia Shield TV or whatever, then I would have to install Jellyfin Media Player and then do the same login process to sign in with the server that I created. Alright, I added a couple more media to my hard drive, and this is basically how Jellyfin's gonna look. Once you add some more media, it's gonna look even more good, you know what I'm saying? But in this section, we're gonna make the Jellyfin client, the server, whichever, we're gonna make it look even better. So what you need to do is go to the awesome Jellyfin GitHub. I'll put the link in the description as well. And they got all types of plugins, all types of themes, all these things. I don't have time to go through this for the sake of the video. I don't really want to, extend the video. Will be here all day. So for this instance, we are going to install a plugin. So let's install the intro skipper plugin. Kind of how Netflix has their own intro skippers. You probably know what that is. You know what Netflix is. But anyways, we got the intro skipper plugin. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go down here and we're gonna copy this link right here. So we're just gonna copy that, bam, and we're gonna go back on to the server. So let me click the hamburger menu right here, go to dashboard, go to plugins, go to manage repositories, and then you add new repositories, and then you paste the repository URL right here, and then you give it the name. After you add the name, then you just click on add, and now we press back here, and then we go to available, and then let me scroll down. Okay, I had to switch from the web browser where the media server is being, you know, displayed, and go on to Jellyfin Media Player, the separate app, and then that's where I could see the plugin that I added previously. So intro skippers right here, and then you just need to press install. Third-party login carries risk. Yep. And then you click install, and then once that's done installing, what you need to do now is go back to your dashboard and then restart Jellyfin. And then after Jellyfin is restarted, as you can see right here, it says status active, so the plugin is active, but there's only one way to find out. And there you have it. The skip intro button does indeed work, and we're in the content. To verify that it works, what you need to do is go to your dashboard, and then you click on schedule tasks, and then where it says detect and analyze media segments, you press that play button right there. It's gonna scan all the data, you know, and make sure the intro skip button is, I guess, applied on your shows and all that. And then once it's done scanning, then the intro skipper should be working. So now here's where the fun part begins, selecting our themes. On Awesome Jellyfin GitHub, there's a bunch of themes you can scroll through and see. There's a bunch of good looking ones that you can choose from. I'm gonna just scroll through some of them, and you can take a look at the GitHub to check, you know, out the themes some more if you would like. There's a couple of them that look good to me already, but for the sake of the video, we're going to use this one right here, Elegant Fin. That's going to be the theme that I'm going to be applying today. And we have the instructions to set up the theme right here. So what I'm going to do is copy this CSS code right here. Boom. For this example, we're going to be applying this theme on the Jellyfin Media Player. So the next step we're going to be doing is clicking onto settings, you click on display, you scroll down till you find custom CSS code, and then we're going to paste the code into that box right there. After we pasted our code, we're going to scroll down, and then we click on save. Boom. And there we have our new custom theme, bro. Look at it. It probably doesn't look any different. Let's go on living single one more time. Let's go on living single. Bam. Look how nice that looks. It has everything, bro. We got the seasons, we got the cast and crew. Love it, bro. Love it. It looks so much better than it was previously. Let me try Eddy and Eddy and see how that would look. Oh my god, it looks so good. Oh my god, bro. What? That's crazy. See how nice that looks. It looks so clean. I like this theme. I'm gonna look at some more themes as well after this video, but right now I'm really liking Elegant Fin. I think it looks pretty clean. I like it. Now this section of the video is only going to apply if you plan on putting anime onto your Jellyfin server. Now this is going to be in the context of a Linux user. For Windows, it's probably just going to be straightforward, but in the case of Linux, categorizing anime on Jellyfin is a pain in the ass. This is even more a pain if you plan on adding dubbed anime. So if you grew up with your Naruto's, your Dragon Ball Z's, good luck. Good luck categorizing that, because bet you it's going to get episodes mixed up, this, that, and the third. I'll show you right now. As you can see right here, I have Detective Conan, or Case Closed if you watched it in the States like I have. But as you can see right here, we got parter episodes like part 1, part 2. The English dub had them as 2 separate video files, and in the Japanese version, it was all one. It was all in one file. So when categorizing it with just Jellyfin, the episodes would get completely mixed up and all over the place. It wouldn't even detect these at all. I'm gonna tell you how I did it. I won't go too in depth because it's a pain in the ass. Like I said, it'll probably be its own video. I don't know if I want to make a video on that, but I'll probably keep it brief for this video. But for part episodes, it's a pain. You know, episodes are just gonna be scrambled and using just Jellyfin. It's not gonna be correct. It's not gonna be accurate at all. It's unironically terrible for sorting anime with just Jellyfin. And I'm not the only one that's saying this shit. You could probably find a dozen like Reddit threads of people saying the same shit I'm saying. Like anime on Jellyfin, like sorting it is a nightmare. It's unironically a nightmare. It's like a bunch of people complaining about it, and it's just you have to be majorly unemployed. You gotta have like no life. Like you would literally have to have all the time in the world to literally sort all these episodes with just Jellyfin. And even then it probably still won't even work correctly. Like it's like damn. Cause like bro, who unironically wants to go through episodes and then manually edit metadata so it can fit Jellyfin's, you know, sorting naming scheme, because Jellyfin has their certain, you know, naming scheme for TV shows, and sometimes when you acquire your anime, it'll be named something, the numbering will be super off. It'll be like, you'll probably like have episode like 83 or something. How the fuck is it gonna sort that shit? It won't, and that's why it won't work. So ultimately, what I used to sort my anime is a plugin called Shokofin, and to use Shokofin, you need to download Shoko's server. So I'll probably put a link for that as well. It's its own separate, you know, amount of headaches to set it up. For Windows, you get it's basically, you know, an exe you download, keep it moving. But it's like for Linux, of course it's Linux. You gotta put in some work. You gotta put in a lot of work for Linux. In this case, what I basically did, because they recommend using the Docker image, and I was like trying to do that with a software called Podman to kind of circumvent that on Bazite. But it's like I was already getting confused with how Docker things work, so I was like, nope, I'm gonna do what they don't recommend and just do it manually with Ubuntu. And how I did that is basically use DistroBox on Bazite. It's pre-installed on Bazite, I believe, and then you with DistroBox you set up like a containerized like distro. Like if you want to install like Ubuntu, like Mint, whatever, it's all containerized, so it won't affect your main like boot drive, in this case Bazite. So I just set up Ubuntu on DistroBox strictly for Shoko server, and then when I got that, you know, completed, I set up the account for Shoko server and all that, set up everything, have that scan my Detective Conan video files. And then once it's scanned that and scanned all the metadata, then I install Shokofin onto Jellyfin, and then it can, you know, transfer all that stuff from Shoko server to Jellyfin, and then it's all sorted now. Understand? Hope we got it. Great. Grand. I hope you got it, because there were other like suggestions on certain Reddit threads like Sonar and all that, but Sonar wasn't accurate either. The episodes that had 2 parts wasn't sorted at all, didn't work, wasn't even included. Like it'll include the first part, but then the second part it couldn't do, so it just had to, you know, keep it moving, and by doing that, everything was not sorted correctly. Because if you missed the other part, then everything else gets mis-sorted. So it's like, I wanted so bad for Shoko server to work. I wanted so bad for Shoko server to work, and I would not rest until it worked. And I'm like, okay, I did it this convoluted way, and because I did it this certain way with Ubuntu, I gotta do it manually again to update it, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't recommend it. With the Docker images, I guess it's automatic updates or whatever. But with Ubuntu, you gotta do it manually. But I'm like, it works today. It works today, at least, at the very least. So it's like, cool. So if you are an anime enjoyer and you like your dubs as well, you grew up with your dubs and you want to watch your dubs as well as your subs, good luck. Because let me show you. I have to put I have an anime dubbed folder right here. So if I want to do anime subs, I have to make a separate folder for that and then put that in. So I'm sure with modern anime, it's probably just simpler now. It's probably just all just one thing. It's probably simpler where it's like all the episodes won't get mixed up. Like everything will just be straightforward. But with here, like from anime from like the 90s, 2000s, your mainstream type anime at the time, it's like good luck. Good luck sorting all your arcs and all that, your dubs, good luck, because it was already a pain for me at the very least. So, I mean, I felt accomplished at the very least, the guy that got Shoko Silver working, but it's like, it's all dragged out. On Windows, it's just simple. It's just an EXE. You're done. Not really done, but it's like, you don't have to go through any type of command lines like I had to do with Linux. I have to go through so many command lines and all these things, copy pasting, all that, sudo apt get install for the Ubuntu distro box thing. It's command line heavy. It's really command line heavy, and I don't blame people who just be like, I'm not even gonna bother, because I wasn't even trying to bother either. I was gonna be like, fuck it, I might just play it, just find a video player on the computer and just have it just play my anime instead. Because for everything else, if it's not anime, Jellyfin can sort my TV shows just fine, because my files already had them sorted correctly already. So I didn't have to edit anything besides like the folder name, because it had needed the title as well as the year. But other than that, it did it just fine. The cartoons, the TV shows, just fine. For anime, if you trying to sort your anime, you're gonna have to schedule like a weekend or something, a week, month, week, year to sort everything out. But at the end of the day, we got it good, we got it sorted, we did it. I mean, I'm not done yet. That's just one series. That's just one series. That's just one, bro. But it is a start. And as I, get more media and make my Jellyfin server more fleshed out, it'll probably be like a more fulfilling project. I'm glad I did it. I'm honestly glad I did it, so I can just watch my shows locally and don't have to worry about, internet outages. I could just watch my videos locally. And if you plan on doing something like this, I advise that you should give it a try, give it a shot. You probably have some like acquired media somewhere lying around on a hard drive or something, because I do. And hey, this could be an interesting hobby, besides the anime part, because the anime part is its own thing. But it's like, for everything else worked fine. Everything else was categorized fine, no issues. And I'm glad I did it. It's something I've been interested in for a while, and I wanted to kind of see what it was like doing it on like a actual computer, because some people do it on like NASs and all these types of things. I don't know about none of all that yet, because Docker is confusing. Docker is massively confusing. But for the desktop, give it a shot. Give it a shot. You can make it look pretty. You can make it look so pretty, and at the very least, you own your media. I like the idea of owning my media. I don't like the idea of my media just suddenly just disappearing, whenever, for any reason. I don't really like that. I like the idea of my media being, owned by me. But I'm really glad I started this project in the first place anyways, because I like the idea of owning my media and owning it on a local device that only I control. So if you follow that philosophy as well, then you should give Jellyfin a shot. And who knows, maybe this could be the start from a small collection to a much bigger collection that you own. Alright, so it's been a couple days since I set up the Jellyfin media server onto the Dell Optiplex, and for the time being, I'm having a pretty good experience. Now, remember when I told you that sourcing metadata for the TV shows on Jellyfin worked out fine? Well, there are a couple of duds, one of which, here's a funny one, that despite it being a TV show that aired in the 1970s, somehow managed to have an anime episode that I just so happened to miss. I watched this series multiple times. I must have missed that episode. But, like I said, it's not going to be perfect. Even if you you know, lay it out the exact way that Jellyfin wants you to, you know, in terms of the naming convention, sometimes it still won't even get things, you know, exactly correct. So it's not exactly perfect, but at least, you know, it's open source, it's free, you don't really got to worry about no type of subscriptions, and everything's locally onto your device. Which now leads me to discuss the total cost of the entire setup. So, the Dell Optiplex 3010 small form factor I paid for on eBay for about $42.80. The AliExpress Wi-Fi PCIe card I paid around $6.84. The Logitech keyboard, the Logitech wireless keyboard, I bought on Mercari with a coupon, totaled up to $11.94. And the original 4TB hard drive, before I worked it, totaled $47.63, meaning that original total, if the hard drive didn't break, would have been $109.21. Now, if we update everything, we add in the SSD and the SATA cable that I got from the OfferUp seller. That would be $15 for the SSD and another $2 for the SATA cable, so that'd be $17 total. And the new 4TB hard drive that I bought on eBay would be $53.34, meaning that the updated total would be around $131.92. So if you play your cards right, you could be able to shave that total price down to maybe $100 if you're lucky, if you check around your local area, give or take. And also, since it's a PC, it's a computer, there's room for, you know, an upgrade. I could put a small form factor like graphics card if I really wanted to give it more of an upgrade down the line. So there's room for improvements, you know, with this computer. It's not just, you know, the end all be all. And at the end of the day, it was a pretty fun experiment. I kind of like projects like this where it's like you buy a thing and you kind of put something in and it works better than it did before. It's kind of like fixing a car. Instead of the car is not broken, it's like you kind of make it better, give or take. There's probably a word for that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little project, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you liked the video, please hit the like button down below. And if you want to comment whatever you want to comment, any tips and tricks, suggestions, I don't care, please comment that down below. And if you want to see more videos from me, then you can hit the subscribe button down below. Now, this video is coming out a bit late. I wanted it to come out at the end of the year, but I had to revise a couple things, so now it's coming out a bit late. So hopefully you guys are cool with that, and hopefully you guys had a better New Year's than I did, and hopefully 2026 will fare out better for me and my channel, and I hope you guys will stick around for the ride. So that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. Later.